Okay. So, are you still here, guys? Ari pa kamo de. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, ari na ta. Okay. So, remember, if there is increased moisture, there will be false naman nga resistant. Pero kung increase in drying, wherein our temperature is being increased man, so 35 degrees Celsius for 16 to 18 hours, so there will be false resistant naman nga matabo. Okay. So our incubation temp must be 35 degrees Celsius to 37, wherein it is a body temperature. And then for 16 to 18 hours, because that is the optimal time or optimal time for our bacteria to grow. Okay? And then next, however, we need to have an increase naman nga consideration um, um, if we have identified the Streptococcus, Haemophilus, and Neisseria species. So, di ba, kay facultative anaerobe sila, so they need to have 5 to 7% of carbon dioxide. And then up to 24 hours naman for Neisseria gonorrhoeae, MRSA, and VRE because fasted with microorganisms sila and they are slow growing microorganisms. That is why ginapa-extend siya up to 24 hours. Okay, so we need to measure the zone of inhibition. Okay, so this device is what we call the caliper. Okay, so caliper is being used to measure the zone of inhibition of our microorganisms against the antimicrobial agent. So lawn of growth must be confluent or almost confluent. And then zones measured from back of plate. Okay, so patabulion di na to si Vix kuman. Kung 'di ba, kung amo ning original nga placement ni sorry. Nakita nyo? Kung amo ning original placement ni disc naton, disc agar, so in incubation dapat nakatabuli siya. Okay? However, kung magkuha naman kita from the from the oven or incubator, ginapaamutan naman ni siya, and then kung i-measure ta si sino ni gani si zone of inhibition, patabulion ta naman sa. Okay, patabulion, and then like for example, may ruler kamo, so you measure the zone of inhibition or the clear zone. And then we use this reflected light. So routine disk diffusion tests are examined by placing the plate on or 2 to 3 inches above a black non-reflecting surface. Okay, so with non-reflecting surface with reflected light because dapat clear zone lang aton nga makita, no? And then next is ignore the faint growth of tiny colonies at the zone edge. And then next is actually para hindi ka mo mabudlayan bala sa ulihi magamit sang caliper kay when you use the caliper you tend to adjust the the ang wide bala ang pagka-wide sang caliper. So anong ginahimo? May ara na siya nga template sa mga most microbiology lab nga template na siya nga do X-ray film, no? Sa X-ray film may circles na siya, several circles from the center. Okay, ano na to? Okay. Oo, wala pa. Ari. Okay. So, X-ray film na siya guys, nga prepared na. And that X-ray film has several circles from the center. Okay? So, like for example, Ari, so naka-template na sa X-ray film nga do pariyo ka size ni this this agar plate. And then may ano na siya diri, may circle, may several sizes of circle from the inside to the outside nga sang agar plate. And then may may specific nga mga measurement or numbers ang size sang circle. So each size ginabutang man na siya sa center sang antibiotic disc aryo. So sa X-ray film ginabutang man na siya sa likod sang imo nga agar, and then after sina i-place mo na siya sa center ni antibiotic disc. And then kay sinsambal ko may different sizes of circles. So dira mo na siya mabase hasta sa ending. Sorry kung hindi ko ma-point out. Basta halin sa antibiotic disc or sa edge ni antibiotic disc hasta sa edge man sang imo inhibition, that is being measured by your template or caliper. Okay, so amo na siya ang pag-measure natin sa zone of inhibition. Te lang. Ano na lang, i-search ko na. Are you familiar with the template of antibiotic disc?
No, ma'am.
I know,
No,
dali lang.
ma'am.
I-search ko siya sa internet, dali lang gida. So, see. Kay ano B, hindi niyo siya ma-imagine. Template of ano na gani antibiotic disc. Images. Oh, where is like an X-ray film? Wait lang din guys. Can you wait?
I can wait, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sana all maka-wait. Charms. Charms? Ano charms? Film. Ay, lang ha. Template. Ano yung tawag man? Hindi ko may ara na sa YouTube. This. Ay, naku na lang. I'll try my best, guys. Try to sa YouTube. Susceptibility testing using the plate. Ipsilometer lang nakita ko. Ipsilometer template. Ala, ba si submission lang na iya balaw. Char. Gusto nyo kantahan ta kamudanay.
Go, ma'am.
Abi ko hindi ito mo yung mamati sa akong kay. Ay, bakit wala? Hinit na ko basig mambay kamudanay yung mga ginapangwakal pabla daw hindi tuo daw. Ay, ay, naku na lang. Wala gid saya, guys.
Ma'am, pa-admit ko na si Castillon.
No, hindi ako ya. Char. Ara, na-admit ka na siya. Sorry. Nabali si Mr. Castillon. Ara na si Mr. Castillon. May Pocari Sweat nga ginainom. Dehydrate ka gid Mr. Castillon sa lecture. Okay, amo na lang niya siya, guys. Okay. So, like for example, nga reviewer. So, amo ni siya like for example si template. Okay. So, kunyari, circle, perfect circle na naman ini siya. So, si template has, hambal ko, several measurements of sizes of the circle, no? So like for example, the center of your template is this, okay? This, so amo ni siya ang placement ni antibiotic disc. Okay, si antibiotic ari na siya diri, antibiotic, baliskad, antibiotic disc, and then ari siya may 1, 2, 3, mga amo ni siya. So amo ni siyang daw ano siya, daw spider web na siya guys, pero wala lang siya sa mga kurit-kurit across the circle. Okay. So, this template, transparent ini siya. Ang only nga writing sa template nga ni is ang mga several measurements of circles. Okay? And then, gina-place ni siya sa plate, sa agar plate mo nga may antibiotic disc. So, i-plaster mo kung diin si antibiotic disc, ipasentro mo man na siya diri. And then, after sina is, i-measure mo na si zone of inhibition. Kung diin siya nga na-circle nga nakasulod si zone of inhibition, so mo na measurement ni zone of inhibition mo. Nag-gets niyo na, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure bala, tutuod? Tuda, bala, gusto ko bala sang honesty. Basta, i-imagine nyo lang na X-ray film na siya. X-ray film. Kaya di ba ang X-ray film is transparent. And then, ang only writings are different sizes of the circle. So, ang different sizes of the circle, kali, di ba, may measurement na siya. So, una, be 2 mm. So, smallest circle is 2 mm, dayon 4, dayon 6, and then 8. So, kung ara siya, kung si zone of inhibition mo is ara sa 8 mm, so amo na siya ang iya nga measurement ni inhibition sa 8 mm. And then si 8 mm, i-compare mo na siya sa SIR. SI and R. Kung ang susceptibility testing ni, like for example, ni penicillin mo is sensitive si penicillin mo if the zone of inhibition of microorganism is greater than 14. And then ari is 10 to 13. Resistant if less than 10. Okay, sama na siya. MM siya. Okay. So, sensitive si penicillin mo kung nakalabot ang imo zone of inhibition, ariyo, sa 14. Okay, sa 14. However, example lang ni siya guys ha, hindi ni siya exact nga numbers. Okay? And then next is intermediate naman, kung 10 to 13 ang ari during circles, as sa 10 to 13 ang zone of inhibition. And then less than 10 if resistant if less than 10 si zone of inhibition mo. So like for example, this penicillin has the zone of inhibition nga 8 lang. So is it S, I,
Resistant.
or R? Okay, so
Resistant.
that is resistant. Amo na siya guys. So salamat gid sa inyong patience sa pag-understand. Okay. Next is mapadayon kita. Move on. Okay. Charles. Okay. Ay, sorry. Where are we? Okay. So, amo na to siya guys. He's susceptible, intermediate, and resistant. Excuse me. Okay, so kindly read this for the intermediate and then resistant. Okay, so considerations in Kirby-Bauer testing or in performing the Kirby-Bauer against the antibiotics. So, in preparation of your pure culture, pure inoculum is obtained by selecting 4 to 5 colonies of the same morphotype magamba kita same morphotype, it means dapat pareho sila nga tsura sang colony. Hindi pwede nga ang isa color sang colony niya is white, ang isa ya color yellow. So dapat hindi amo na siya. Same morphotype, or resemble ang same ang sizes ng ila colonies. Hindi sila mucoid or not mucoid, and then pareho sila sang color. So amo na siya ang morphotype. And then which are then inoculated into the tryptic soy broth and incubated at 35 degrees Celsius for 18 to 24 hours. What is the purpose of your tryptic soy broth? So that tryptic soy broth is being used for enrichment of your colonies, no? Or dira ya lang ginapabuhi ang imo nga colonies with the during the incubation. So ginapanami niya ang colonies mo na dira sa sulod sang tube. So 4 to 5 colonies grown in a 16 to 24-hour culture into a broth medium or 0.85% saline solution to achieve the turbid suspension nga gina-compare naton sa ato na McFarland standard. Okay, so anyone who can give the components of our McFarland standard or barium sulfate standard? Sino? Wala gid? Wala gid may mag-guess. Ay, hindi na lang. Okay. Never. Wala gid, guys. Ah,
0.5.
ano? Sino to siya? Sino to siyang gautik-kutik?
Sab, ma'am.
Si Sab? Sabi. Ay, wala gid. Mga tag pa naman ko tani load. Kaso kay gamay lang nga load ginahatag ko mama na guro. Wala ka mo hindi ka mo well-driven magsabat. Okay. So, na to siya guys. So, ang component ni barium sulfate standard, di ba, is 1% of sulfuric acid and 1.175% of barium.
Barium chloride.
Yes, very good. Barium chloride with 99.5 ml and 5 ml respectively. Okay. So, inoculum streaking and placement of antibiotic disc. The plate must be turned 60 degrees between each streaking to proceed to produce overlapping streak. Within 15 minutes of disc placement, plates are inverted and incubated. Kaya nga aman, if there is delay in incubation, as what I have said kagina, ano gani if there is delay in incubation, guys?
Drying might occur.
And then,
False.
Into false resistance.
delay in
False, false sensitivity.
False sensitivity.
false sensitive or false resistant if there is delay in incubation.
False sensitivity.
False sensitivity. And then next, reading of plates and interpretation of results. Plates are examined 2 to 3 above a block, non-reflective surface, and zones are measured from the backside of the plate. Okay? For media that contains blood, the plate is examined with the lid removed. If the growth is kidan, lid is being removed. Kidan, do hindi reflective pala ang zone of inhibition sa back parts ng ato na agar. Okay, amo na siya kung nga gina-remove na lang si lid. And then, if the growth is poor and non-confluent, the test should be repeated. Okay, more or less, there is, ano niya siya gani, there is contamination, may mga sala sa procedures or technical problems. So, the test should be repeated. Okay, cause of false resistance and false negative, liog lang ko read dire, use of false resistance. It means that your antimicrobial agent is falsely ineffective against the microorganism if you have this heavy inoculum, late examination of plates, or prolonged incubation, okay? And then use of disk with inadequate drug concentration, failure to immediately refrigerate the disk after the use. Okay, so one way to preserve your antimicrobial disk or to preserve the function of the antimicrobial disk is to correctly preserve it. So how will you do that? Dapat i-ref nyo na siya after nyo gamiton. So dapat nakabutang na siya sa either sa Ziploc or sa isa ka container niya wherein amo lang gid na ang sulod sang isa ka container all antimicrobial disk because that is to provide contamination sa other products nga ara sa imong refrigerator. Dapat naka-ref na siya. Kung when you say ref, dapat ang iyang temperature is regulated at 1 to 10 degrees Celsius. Hindi pwede frozen si antibiotic disc, no? Okay. So next is use of wrong bacterial isolate. And then notes to remember, the drug concentration decreases at increasing distances from the disc, and then a wide zone surrounding a disc signifies greater susceptibility of the organism to the antibiotic. Zone width is related to antibiotic concentration, diffusion rate, and solubility. Next, a zone size of swarming organisms, such as proteus, should be ignored when reading the area of inhibition. Okay, nanan nga mga gatubo-tubo around the or between the zone of inhibition, okay? And ang mga do feeling nyo nga dugalap tale, for example, ang ginhimo ni Proteus wherein gaswarm na siya, no? Or ga hilig-hilig, balado ga flow, okay? So, never mind that, okay? Wag nyo na siyang pakialaman. Ang importante, i-read nyo lang ang zone of inhibition. And the next, routine susceptibility on beta-hemolytic streptococci is generally unnecessary. And the next factors affecting the zone of inhibition, amount of inoculum or test organism, thickness of susceptibility agar. Ari, basahon nyo man ni siya, kag always remember that if agar is too thick, the zone will be smaller, pero kung too thin, zones will be larger. Therefore, dapat ang depth is 4 millimeters thick lang. And then next, the temperature and the growth rate of the test organism. Okay. So, next naman is the pH of our medium or our agar, which must be within lang sang range ni 7.2 to 7.4. Low pH of the medium decreases the activity of your some antibiotics, which are your aminoglycosides and erythromycin. And then number of disc per plate, tama na to kung 150 millimeter, dapat 12 to 14, maximum of 12 lang diriyaw. Pero kung sa previous, diba, is 12 to 14. Okay, basta tandaan nyo lang range 12 to 14. And then next, concentration of calcium and magnesium. So calcium and magnesium are electrolytes, no, wherein they can affect the testing of your aminoglycosides and tetracyclines that is acting against your Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Okay, calcium and magnesium causes high resistance of Pseudomonas aeruginosa to the aminoglycosides. Okay, causes resistance. Okay. These two electrolytes, the calcium and magnesium, will increase resistance of antibiotics, of microorganism against the aminoglycoside. Okay. You have any question?
None, ma'am.
May idugang lang ko, guys. Ano siya? QC. Okay. Quality control of your automated test. Okay, i-stop ko na yung screen share. Okay, so ari pa ka mo? Last na lang niya.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so may dugang lang ko. Your automated test, okay, so optical density readings are being measured. So, in automated test. The faster that antibiotic susceptibility results are available, the greater is the potential for effective therapy. And then QC alert, quality controls must be done 30 consecutive days and then per week niyo siya ginahimo. So, in a month, per week niyo siya ginahimo. And then, for sensitivity testing, daily tests with 80 cc microorganisms are being done. And if results are acceptable, frequency can be decreased to weekly. So, daily, and then if QC is within the range or has the good performance, so pwede mo niyo siya ma-decrease into weekly na lang. For this diffusion, we are using microorganisms, no? Your pure colonies, which are commonly, si pure colonies, ginakuha ni siya sa test microorganism, pero ideally, dapat 80 cc standard siya. So we are using the E. coli, the Staphylococcus aureus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and Enterococcus faecalis. Okay, liwat E. coli, Staph aureus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and E. faecalis. And then next naman is the serum bactericidal test naman, or what we call the Schlichter test. I think that is being included in your lecture. Are you familiar with Schlichter test? Hello? Hello? Hello?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
ma'am.
Si Schlichter test, Schlichter. 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 Laway-laway sa ngipon ko. Sorry. Okay, your Schlichter test determines antibacterial activity of the serum of patients receiving the antimicrobial drug. So, determines if the patient is given effective therapy. So, ang ginatest nato na diri is effectivity of our antimicrobial to the patient na mismo. So, diretso na. So, ang specimen naton is serum already. And then, serum bactericidal or lethal titer, SBT or SLT, no? Highest dilution of patient serum required to kill the microorganism. Ari naman, highest dilution of patient serum required to kill the microorganism. Kaya di ba, if the patient is receiving the antimicrobial agent, you are evaluating if that antimicrobial agent is effective. Okay, so ano ang himuon mo? Himuon mo si Schlichter test. And then you are measuring the highest concentration, highest dilution of patient serum required to kill the microorganism. So that is what we call the serum bactericidal or lethal titer effect of the microbial agent. Okay, so do you have any questions regarding the antimicrobial susceptibility testing?
Wala na, ma'am.
Okay, so I think I will give you to Sir Jesse in a while. However, good luck sa inyo na upcoming exams and sa quiz later. Check ko kung naka-reply na si Sir Rudolph, guys, so that balitaan na kami. Okay, ari na siya. Ano yun? Naka-reply na sa inyo, no?
Yes, ma'am. 6 to 7 daw.
Okay, ara na. Tingala ko man hindi ko mag-get siya reply. Okay. So we have 10 minutes. Sir Jesse? Hindi na si Sir Jesse man.
Yes, Je.
Ma-break na lang sila, Sir Jess. Kag dayon ma-proceed ka mo 3:30
Sure.
or ano? Magid man na.
50
Ano
minutes,
ras
Je.
Ano ras mabalik? Ano?
3,
4, 5.
3:30,
5.
3:37.
Exact 15 minutes, guys. So 3:37. Thank you, good Sir Jess.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, good everyone. Ay, dali lang, guys. may picturean ko, dayon isend. May picturean ko, dayon isend ko lang sa inyo. Kay, kay Nel ko lang hatag. May notes lang nga gamay. Char. Okay. So, thank you everyone and God bless sa inyo. See you
Bye,
later.
ma'am. Thank you.
See you
Thank you,
later.
ma'am.
Thank you good sa inyo. Sinel. Sino Sinel? Ako notes. Ay, damit yung... Okay.